Hello, I'm Mario Farina. Today I'll be reading you a story called When Opportunity Knocked. This is the picture that appears at the front of the story. This is available at www.smashwords.com. It's available free for you there. You can download it and read it for free. There are also over 200 other stories that you can download and read for free. When Opportunity Knocked. Madam Ursula Marie Lane answered my ring at 11 Union Street personally. "I'm Philip Huntley," I said. "Welcome," she responded. "I'm Ursula Marie." She turned and led me through a large, nondescript living room to a closed door at one side. She opened it, and we entered a smaller room which smelled of an incense I had never experienced before. The room was dimly lit, almost barren of furniture. There was a table at the far end, the surface of which was covered with a large cloth. There were two plain chairs, one on the wall side of the table and one on the room side. An object on the table was covered with a red cloth. Ursula Marie motioned to the nearby chair while she walked to the other side of the table and sat facing me. I also sat and examined the woman's face. Ursula Marie was in her late 30s, blue-eyed, red-haired. She had bright lips and was grim-looking. She wore no glasses, her eyes heavily outlined in black. She removed the covering over the solitary object on the table, revealing a large crystal ball. I could not estimate the diameter very well, but it might have been about 18 inches. I could see nothing in its milky surface. "Tell me about your dream, Mr. Huntley," she asked in a low, almost inaudible voice. Collecting my thoughts, I began. "I've had this dream 10 days running, Miss Lane. In the dream, I'm looking at a computer screen. At first, all is blackness, then the image of an enormous black shoe evolves gradually. There is something blue, but otherwise indistinct, protruding from its opening. The image fades and the number 150 appears on a large white card. This number fades, and the number 11 takes its place. There is the sound of an auto's engine. I look to see where the sound is coming from. I see a yellow vehicle. The dream ends there." This same dream has been repeated night after night with exactly the same details. There is nothing frightening about it, but I feel it must mean something. My friends have said that psychic Madame Ursula Marie is gifted with knowledge of the paranormal. That's why I called you. You live in a congested area of the city. I took a taxi. I brought an envelope with the amount you said you needed in order to explain this dream. Ursula Marie's severe expression moderated to some degree as she turned her attention to the large crystal ball. She stared into it for several minutes, then a spark of change altered her features. There were several more moments before she started to convey her thoughts. "There is a contest by Avalanche Soap," she began. "You've heard of it. It's been on all the channels to the point of nausea. It's about their 150th anniversary. A special crew is shuffling cash under guard from point to point throughout the country. Their promise is that the first person who speaks the exact words, 'Congratulations, Avalanche, on your 150th, will receive a prize of $150,000. The actual money will be in a blue envelope peeking slightly over the top of a woman's black boot. An individual in uniform will ask you a question. This will be your opportunity to say the words." "What does this have to do with my dream?" I said. You've been blessed with foreknowledge granted to you by an unknown entity, she responded. You've been given an edge in knowledge that has not been granted to many others. The prize money is nearby. You say you've had this dream 10 days running? I nodded. That may explain the number 11, Ursula Marie exclaimed excitedly. Today or tomorrow may be a day of good fortune for you. From the moment you leave this house, be alert. All this was exciting. I couldn't wait to take care of the business part of the visit and to phone for a taxi. I needed to be home as soon as possible to await the possible fulfillment of the good fortune prediction. A yellow cab arrived and tooted the horn. I hurried out the door and almost bumped into the taxi driver who was walking toward me. Are you the gentleman at 11 Union? He called out. 11. That's exactly right, I said as I hurried toward the car. The taxi was parked at the curb with its engine running. In front of it there was a police car with red and blue lights rotating on its roof. Behind it there was a huge white van with a dish antenna at the top. No problem, I thought. The taxi will have no difficulty turning into traffic. The driver hurried toward the back of the car as I strode to the curb. He kicked aside an item of black woman's footwear which had been carelessly cast in the driver's path. Grumbling about people leaving things in people's path, he picked it up, opened the front passenger door, and tossed it in. He opened the rear door. I entered and sat. The driver asked, "What do you say, sir?" "Take me home," I replied. The driver paused, stared at me for a second, then, without another word, he left the curb and began a quick trek to my home. During the ride, I had an uneasy feeling that I had neglected to do something important, but couldn't quite pinpoint what it might be. Thank you for looking. Thank you for listening. Tomorrow I'll have another story for you. Bye-bye.